Hi folks, I'm Matt and welcome to My Expanded Universe, a show where I go through the entire EU in chronological order as best I know how. Folks, we're going to stick with the comic books here and we're getting to a big one here. It is the Star Wars Annual. The big one by Marvel Comic Books, right? Lots of action happening in it. Well, they brought in Chris Claremont, an unknown writer at the time, to write this. Of course, Chris Claremont is well known within the comic world now, but he got to write the Star Wars Annual. So big things were going to happen in this one, right? All right. Let's get ready. Here's what happens. You see, while visiting the planet Sky, Luke, Han, and Leia run into trouble. Han gets captured because it's his turn to get captured, but then later on he gets rescued. And then, of course, they free the planet from the Imperial rule. Hooray! Now, Sky have these, I forgot the name of the alien creature, but they have the wings on them. And they kind of look like a half man, half pterodactyl. It's a really cool concept for an alien creature. And I remember reading the annual a long time ago. It's in one of the trades that I have here. Anyway, but it was really good. And the creatures were very interesting. Now in the book, Luke and Leia are given these like wingsuits where they fly around like Condor Man, if anyone remembers that old movie reference. But they're flying around in these little like makeshift wingsuits, so to, you know, fly around with all the natives there. And Luke has to battle, and I'm going to butcher the name. I think it's Caris or Caris or whatever. And Caris is force sensitive and also has a lightsaber. So they're battling. Luke is battling in the sky, flying with them when in his little, you know, his own little wingsuit, flying and attacking her with the lightsaber, and they're doing battle together. It's kind of wild, but them's were the days back then when anything went. And it was kind of neat because at the end of the comic book, Caris makes a reference to Obi-Wan visiting the planet with 2 students. And of course, we're to assume that they were Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader. Because if you remember, back when the movie came out, he said, you know, there was a pupil of mine, Darth Vader. He betrayed and murdered your father, you know. Oh, by the way, your father was a pupil too. Now, Obi-Wan was playing coy, we later find out, and he didn't want to tell Luke that, hey, your dad really sucks right now. No, but in the comic book, they didn't know that. So they thought, oh, okay. So he had 2 apprentices who walked around with him called Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader. They just thought that was just a name for him. And so the comic book kind of hints that, yeah, these 2 students came by years ago during the Clone Wars and helped us. Well, Abel G. Pena would actually explain this whole story in Skywalker's A Clone Wars story. This is a story that I already reviewed a long time ago when I was going through the Clone Wars. Boy, wasn't that fun. And Pena did it because of the Star Wars Annual. And folks, this is on like the last page. There is like a one-word blurb that, yes, Obi-Wan came with 2 students back in the day during the Clone Wars. And he said, hey, let me just go ahead and make sure we retcon that to make sure there's no contradictions. It was really wild that one little panel in the Star Wars Annual encouraged Abel G. Pena to write an entire story explaining what was the deal during the Clone Wars and Obi-Wan. Crazy. Now, I've already reviewed that, so I need to stick on topic and say that the Star Wars Annual and all its pomp and show is okay. Like I said, I like the alien creatures. It's nothing really epic. Of course, what else could they do epic? They've fought the Empire a billion times over, so to have a side bad guy that's, well, they did fight the Empire in this one too, so I don't even know what I'm trying to say here. But, you know, he fought in the sky with lightsabers and a flight suit. That's different, right? I really do like these comic books, by the way. Yeah, I do think some of the moments are cheesy, but for me, they are way enjoyable. All right, folks, that is all the time I have for now. See you next time with another video.